So hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today we have a problem on algebra. So let's jump to the problem itself. The problem says if roots of x cube plus 2x square plus 1 is equal to 0 are alpha, beta, gamma, then value of alpha, beta whole cube plus beta, gamma whole cube plus alpha, gamma whole cube is what, right? So like I always say in mathematics that you need to know what tools you have and where you want to reach. And using those tools you have to reach to your destination, right? So we have been given this expression. We have been given to evaluate this expression now. And we have been said that alpha, beta, gamma are the roots of this equation. So let's think that do we need to get the actual values of alpha, beta, gamma? Do we need those values, or without them also we can solve? Okay, let's try to first visualize that only. All right, so if we want to know the roots, actual roots, so what could be our approach? We would like to factorize it, right? Factorize it, right? So x cube plus 2x square plus 1 is equal to 0. And how do we factorize? How do we try to factorize a cubic expression? So a cubic polynomial. Okay, so basically we try some values which could be the possible roots, and from there we would like to factorize. Okay, so let's say if x is equal to 1, then that is 1 plus 2, that is 3 plus 1 4. That is not a root. X is equal to minus 1. Could it be possible? Minus 1 plus 2, and then that is plus 1. No, that is also not the root. Okay, so we see that factorizing is a bit difficult. That is getting a bit difficult right now. So my mind goes to another thing, that can we maybe there is a method where we don't need to use those actual values of alpha, beta, gamma. We can simply manipulate it, because if we see it clearly, we know one thing. What do we know? We know that alpha plus beta plus gamma, that is equal to minus 2, and alpha beta plus beta gamma plus alpha gamma is equal to 0. Alpha, beta, gamma is equal to minus 1, right? These three things we know from this equation itself, right? All right, so from here we would try to reach this. So if we try to, like, let's say, what can we do about this? Let's try to think. So basically, let's say if we alpha beta the whole cube plus beta gamma the whole cube plus alpha gamma the whole cube, you see these, the face values of this thing is similar to like this things, right? The face values. How about if we can cube this thing? That is what is coming to my mind. Okay, that is what is coming to my mind. So let's cube it. I'm cubing this whole expression, this whole thing. That is here. Let me use some other color actually. I will simply do an undo and use this to highlight it, right? And let's use another color. So yeah, alpha beta the whole cube plus beta gamma the whole cube plus alpha gamma the whole cube. If we want to, like, if we want to cube this expression, then that would be some more extra terms, right? Some more extra terms, right? But can we relate it to this? That is the question. Or can we relate it to this, right? So there is a very nice equation or identity in mathematics that I would like to share with you. You might have studied it also previously. The identity is that, let's say, a cube plus b cube plus c cube minus 3abc, then that is equal to a plus b plus c into a square plus b square plus c square minus ab minus bc minus a, right? So can we try to use this identity here, that is basically to evaluate this expression. Can we use that? Okay, so what would be A? A would be alpha beta, B would be beta gamma, and C would be gamma alpha, right? Okay, so that is what is the scenario is. So let me write it for you. Alpha beta the whole cube plus beta gamma the whole cube plus gamma alpha the whole cube minus 3 times of what is A? Alpha beta, right? What was B? Beta gamma, right? So beta square and gamma. And what is C? What is C? C is gamma alpha, right? So alpha square and gamma square, right? And don't we know this? This is basically alpha beta gamma the whole square, and we know the value of alpha beta gamma, right? So this would simply evaluate to 1, right? Now let's write the RHS part, that is A plus B plus C. What is that? Alpha beta plus beta gamma plus gamma alpha. What is that? That is 0. From where? From where? From here, right? From here, this thing. Okay. Now we have A square plus B square plus C square. Okay. Let's try to now focus on this part itself. So this would be alpha beta the whole square. Let's call it alpha square beta square. Wait, let's do it like this: alpha square beta square plus beta square gamma square plus gamma square alpha square minus A into B, that is alpha beta square gamma. Then there is minus BC and minus C also. So BC is like beta gamma square alpha, and CA, where the value of the C is basically gamma alpha and the value of A is alpha beta. So that would be gamma beta alpha square. So do we know this? Do we know this? No, we don't. We don't have its value right now. But can we get it? Can we get it? Of course we can, if we just use this thing. Let me bring it here. Okay. Let me bring it here. So I'm basically trying to bring this expression and use it, manipulate it a little bit. We will simply square it. So what we will get is that alpha beta plus beta gamma plus gamma alpha, the whole square is basically alpha square beta square plus beta square gamma square plus gamma square alpha square plus 2 times of alpha beta square gamma plus beta gamma square alpha plus alpha square beta gamma. Okay, now this thing is basic. What is this? First this would go to simply 0, right? Alpha beta plus beta gamma plus gamma alpha, that is simply 0, right? Okay, so this becomes minus 2 times of this whole thing, right? This thing, let's put it here. So if we substitute this here, then that, what would that give us? What would that give us? That would give us simply that this bracket thing, this whole bracket thing, that what will that become? Okay, let me write the whole equation for you. Alpha beta the whole cube plus beta gamma the whole cube plus gamma alpha the whole cube minus 3 is equal to 0 into something, that is 0, right? So like we were discussing that as this was going to 0 and we did not know the value of this, right? And this is some very monstrous looking expression, but you can see that there is an into sign in between, right? So that would simply become 0. The RHS is simply 0, and this part, if you bring it to the RHS, that would be plus 3, right? So the value of this is simply plus 3. That means our question is solved. Its value is simply plus 3. That is the final solution. Thank you for watching.